Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. I recently just got back from a trip to Moscow, Idaho, where I was there for parts of 3 different days. And I just made it back yesterday on the 28th, so I was there from the evening of the 26th, the full day of the 27th, and the morning of the 28th. And on the 28th, that's the day that I filmed the raising of the 1122 King Road address. Now, when it was being raised, I'll have to admit I wasn't really looking for tunnels, and the reason I wasn't looking for tunnels is because there are no tunnels underneath the 1122 King Road address. There might be tunnels in the town. There always are tunnels in college towns because they put a lot of their electrical and sort of maintenance areas underneath the actual campus itself. So while they're over there working on things, they're not in everybody's way. Okay, they're underneath the ground working. So it's really common to have universities have tunnels under the ground, except you may consider the property now part of the university because the landowner who owned the house prior to the murders and just until recently donated the property to the university. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you a 360-degree video where I walk all the way from the parking area behind 1122 King Road, and just using that video alone, if you were showing that to a jury, you could easily explain how somebody would have to walk down the hill, etc., to get to the house. I'm also going to walk down in front of the King Road address and then make my way onto Willanta Drive, where you can see what Kohberger would have been able to see while he was driving the white Elantra. Okay, but first we're going to start off by debunking a few different things. Now, there are people making videos out there claiming that right in this area here there is a tunnel. Okay, now what they did was they used an image that looked like this, and you can see on here that's clearly dirt behind the retaining wall there. But what they did was they changed the contrast dramatically to make it look completely black in there, and therefore could claim it was a tunnel to the people that watch their videos, which is absolutely inaccurate. Okay, then they also say that if you look at an image like this, that this is some sort of a door in the storage room of the 1122 King Road address that leads to the same spot on the wall back behind the retaining wall. Okay, and apparently that leads to a secret tunnel. But when you take a look at the actual image here, after they've already taken off the retaining wall, there's absolutely nothing there, everybody. Absolutely nothing at all. The other part of the retaining wall was there. This is the part we were just showing you a minute ago. If you look at this photograph right here, there's a retaining wall. There's this portion right there. And the retaining wall's gone now, and the retaining wall likely only went to here, and then the rest of this was part of the house holding up the dirt back there, and then the next level started back here. So as you can see, there's no tunnel there whatsoever. All right, so 2 different things are debunked here. There is no tunnel. That image that I showed you that looked black is absolutely not a tunnel of any kind, and after they tore down the walls in this image right here, the rest of this was torn down. It was still being claimed up until today that there was a tunnel right behind this wall, behind that door right there. Apparently that's a door. But you can see here after it was torn down, it's not there. Okay, so we've got that taken care of. Now there's also a claim that the vehicle that was driving around was not a white Elantra. In fact, it was a police officer doing his rounds. Now, I do agree that police officers do rounds, but do they do the same loop every 8 minutes? And would they be doing that same loop every 8 minutes between 3:30 and 4:20 or 4:08? Would they do 4 different loops back there? And here's another thing. Law enforcement told us that it was a white Elantra that was doing those loops. So, to believe it was law enforcement, that means you have to believe a massive cover-up conspiracy theory. You have to believe that the vehicle driving around was not the white Elantra, it was a police vehicle, and that law enforcement knows it was a police vehicle, but are claiming it was a white Elantra, and instead of arresting the police officer, they're covering up the fact that one of their own did this and are pinning it on Brian Kohberger. So that's what the theme is here, because that's the logical conclusion to this. Law enforcement said it was a white Elantra. The vehicle making its loops matches what law enforcement said absolutely perfectly, because that is the vehicle they're referring to. And since that is the vehicle they're referring to, the only way that you would think it wasn't a white Elantra is if they're lying on the probable cause document, because it was actually a police vehicle doing the loops and they are the murderers. Wow, that's incredible, everybody. Man, that would make a great movie, wouldn't it? All right, so now let's get on to the 360-degree video, and we'll walk around in this area. And we'll do that right now. All right, as you can see, this is behind 1122 King Road right here. This is likely one of the last actual full sort of walk around videos made of the residence. I did this on the 27th. I think it was somewhat earlier in the day. And as you can see, if at trial, law enforcement had a video similar to this, where you can literally look around and turn. You can see how easy it would be to explain to a jury member how easy it would be to go down the hill right there and go to the patio. And I'm sure they have a scan of it, but you could continue down here and say, see right there, that's where the patio is, and he likely parked right over here and just walked down the bank onto the patio and then through the sliding glass door. Now looking back here, we see this is Madison Mogan's bedroom right here. This right here is Dylan Mortenson's bedroom window. This is a window at the top of the stairs, and this is the balcony, and right around the corner there is Kaylee Gonzalez's sliding glass door. Down here is the kitchen window, and right around that corner is the sliding glass door to the kitchen. All right, so we're going to continue walking around. Now you can just see how absolutely close everything is to the road again, especially now. When I went there in September, there were leaves all over the trees. Now there are absolutely no leaves on the trees, and it's just incredible how close everything is, and that's what Brian Kohberger was looking at when he parked his car on each of his loops looking around. So let's pause it right here, and you can see at the top up here there's a window. That is the bathroom window on the 3rd floor. This is a window adjacent to the other window that looks out at the top of the stairs. It's on the north side of the building. And this right here is Kaylee Gonzalez's window. You can probably see a little bit better if we walk around here. And if we're right in this area, you look up here, this is Kaylee Gonzalez's room right here. This is the window in the middle of the 3rd floor, looking north, and that's the bathroom window. This is Xana Kernodle's room, or Xana Kernodle, I believe is how you say it. And this is the living room window. This is Bethany Funk's bedroom window. This is the main entrance to the house. And right over here is the storage unit, the room that had the nefarious doors that led to secret tunnels that don't exist. We just proved to you they don't exist. So that's the reality, everybody. There are no tunnels underneath 1122 King Road. All right. Now, there was also some misinformation that's going around that somehow the people that were filming from over in that direction, I will show you that area here in a minute, that somehow we were just dumb. But the reality is that they actually told the media that they could be over there, and then there was special permission given to specific media outlets to be over in these areas. Okay, now I had a drone, so I was able to fly around and get some shots at a 45-degree angle over here, but for the live stream we were relegated to being over in that position. All right, so try to know what you're talking about before you tell people stuff. I know it's kind of cool to just invent things to disparage people, but in reality, that's what took place. I was actually surprised, however, to be able to fly a drone. That was amazing. I was told the day before that that wasn't going to happen. All right, so here we are. We are at 1112 King Road. And let me just move it forward a little bit. Right there, you can see through there, that is where the surveillance camera used to be that was filming the White Elantra doing its passes and then continuing around behind 500 Queen Road there. So we're about ready to get to the intersection of Queen and King Road. And let me just show you up in this cul-de-sac up here, that's where the main portion of the media was able to film. There's a space that you can see right through to the house right back there. And King and Queen Road right there, and we're heading out to Taylor Avenue. So we're heading out to Taylor Avenue. Now look how close you can see Sigma Chi's is right there. So Xana and Ethan had a very short trip to get back home. I mean, you could rotate the camera around and you can see that back, it's just right back over there is the 1122 King Road address, and there is Sigma Chi. That is Banfield right there. And there were 3 students, I believe, that were stopped by police and then moved over to this area. And those were students. They weren't 30-year-old people. I know that it's always interesting to try to introduce some, crisis actors, some people that really shouldn't have been there to make the story more interesting. But they were just people out late that the police were talking to. They are students, all right? So we're going to keep moving forward here. We're going up Taylor Avenue right now, still. And you can see there's a sign up there. And when we get to that sign, you'll see that I believe the road changes over to Willanta Drive. Even though it's not really a corner or an intersection of any kind, there is a sign there that you can see the street changes. So you see Taylor Avenue and then Willanta Drive. And here we go. And this is really just done here so that you can see the vision that Kohberger, likely at 9 in the morning when he drove back out into the area, when he did the pass, I believe he probably took Willanta Drive here again, and looked through the trees here and could just easily see the property. And you'll see that here in a minute. I mean, I almost went up here to set up camp to do the filming because you can see, but the zoom on a cell phone isn't that great. I don't have any other type of camera to live stream with. But back there, see how you can see the 1122 King Road address? So he could definitely drive by and see that there was no activity there. And he was probably so disappointed that he wasn't able to observe the chaos after bodies were discovered. So that's why he came and then turned around and went back so quickly, because there was nothing going on. And if you look back here, you can still see it. This whole drive up here. I mean, it's interesting. I think it would have been a pretty good shot, to be honest with you, to be right over here and then maybe just fly the drone up in the air off the street and then over there, because you get a shot from like a back view. And look at that. Just absolutely clear and easy to see the 1122 King Road address while driving on Willanta Drive. Yes, it's on that side of the street, but it's just still a clear shot. I could easily see it when I was driving. And even on those loops that he would do, he could check while driving if one of those lights went off. So he could still see even up to that point. And then maybe if he saw the light turn off, he would come back and do a quicker loop, like he did the 3 of them in 8 minutes and 1 took 17. Alright, so now we're heading back down. And there it is back over there still. And see, this is the kind of stuff I find interesting. You know, I like to just use the real information in cases and try to figure out, you know, what the killer might have been doing or where they went, etc. Sometimes you're limited in content doing that because, you know, you have what you have for information. Now, to create a ton of content, what's easy to do is to invent a ton of different stories and angles to come up with and just say that, hey, you're just really working the case, and everybody thinks, wow, you're really researching, you're doing so many, and it's not doing anything. It's simple to do that kind of stuff. I just can't do it. I think it's something that true crime deserves better than that. It should be true crime where people are looking into the actual elements of the case, not fantasy land. So right now we're heading down. We'll want to drive back into the area. So we'll get another look at the 1122 King Road address, and then we're going to walk behind 500 Queen Road again. So you'll get that full view. And this will just be part of the continuing series that I'm doing of the actual factual information in the case, showing you relevant information. Then I do have many more videos that I took out there where I'm driving around. I drove all the way down. I took the route that is in the probable cause document. My son helped navigate out there. It was crazy. I mean, you're out in the middle of absolutely nowhere with no cell phone reception, maybe a house every mile or so. Absolutely unbelievable. You can see the 1122 King Road top from back here through the woods there. Right back through there. And then we're coming around. We're on King Road right now. They had a ton of signs that morning here. As a matter of fact, I think this might be one of the signs that they had already set up when we were out there regarding not being able to park in the area because they had these massive pickup trucks come out. Let's see if we can read what it says. Yep, can't really see it. Alright, now we're on Queen Road again, and we're heading right towards 1112 King Road. And that's the full, like, you can make this thing crazy by zooming way out like that. But you can come in, and that's where the surveillance camera was. Law enforcement said it's about 50 feet. I think it was closer to 60 feet from Xana's room, but they were able to pick up some, you know, like whimpering sounds, a thud, and a dog barking. And there it is. I mean, it's pretty amazing, don't you think, that nobody heard anything? And they wouldn't hear anything if there was no screaming or loud yelling. See, everyone assumes that that's what happened, and everybody assumes that women always scream or men always yell. But how do we know it really happens at 4 in the morning when you're really sleepy and you've been drinking and you're startled by somebody? It's hard to know. So now we're back behind 500 Queen Road. Coming back here. Now I'm wondering if 52 Queen Road is on this building right here. I wasn't able to, I didn't even think of going back and checking that for some reason. But again, here's where the Elantra went right back up here and drove right back here. Now you can see absolutely how steep this is. Notice the brick level there. It's almost a 45-degree angle, it feels like, when you're there. And you come back up behind and then drive this way, and even this is slopey, where all the water comes down this direction if it was raining, and then it would probably get on that curb and then go down and around and out somewhere. maybe through the sewer systems that are underneath these apartment buildings. Apparently those are used to transport killers to crime scenes. And we're just making our way back around, and there you go. There's 1122 King Road. So you can see right after Kohberger came driving around like this and then parked his vehicle right there, maybe even in this spot, he would just wait and watch, wait for the lights to turn off. I actually think that he would turn off his lights in that area and wait for the lights to do exactly what he wanted, which would be off. Now there's people that say you don't do loops because you want to keep watching your victim, and that just isn't true, right? I mean, if you're looking through a window and you see your victims in the house and you're waiting for the lights to turn off because you know that's when they're asleep, you can't see what they're actually doing in there, but you're going to wait for the lights to turn off. So you keep you're driving around. You're not going to just sit there and have the potential of somebody seeing you and thinking, oh, wow, there's a stalker. So you leave for a while, then you come back and you park, and then people likely don't remember that, oh, there was another car there, or they weren't even looking there. You see, that's the thing is, to me, it makes way more sense for a stalker to show up, wait and watch, then drive away and leave for a while. That's probably why he left for a 17-minute period, because maybe he felt like he was there a little too long. Then he came back 17 minutes later at 3:57 and then came back at 4:05. You know, to say that a stalker wouldn't do something because it doesn't fit your story is absurd. All right. So anyways, I think Kohberger would stop and wait right around in this area, walk right down that hill, went inside the sliding glass door, into the kitchen, off the patio there, and then killed everybody in that house within a 9-minute period. So it could have been shorter than that. And then exited the house and did some DNA mitigation by maybe removing his clothes, putting it in a plastic bag really quick, and then sped away at a high rate of speed and left on Willanta Drive, heading to Conestoga, then likely out to, then it was Palouse River Drive, and then out to Highway 95, and then down south. Then he turns his phone on 28 minutes after the murders while he's near Blaine, Idaho. There's 13 missing minutes or so there. And then he heads down south. The phone keeps being tracked and tracked all the way around. And then he makes his way back into Pullman, Washington, where his vehicle shows up on camera south of Pullman on Johnson Avenue, I believe. And then at 5:30 he turns his phone back on, or his phone pings in Pullman. I don't know if it was off or what the situation there was, but it pinged. Okay? So there you go, everybody. Hope that was sort of an interesting video for you. Debunked a few things and also got a way better look of the area. Yet again, it shows you absolutely how close everything is and what it looked like at the time, missing all the leaves on the trees. Not so some of those trees aren't missing all their needles, etc., but you can see how much better it is to visualize the home without all the leaves on the trees. Okay, so thank you all very much for watching. If you could please leave a comment, let me know what you think in the comment section, that'd be great. And also, if you can hit the like button, I would really appreciate it. So thank you all very much for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.